Now before we get into the video, I do want to say a massive thank you to today's video sponsors, and once again that is jerseyfifa.com. They really do help keep the content on this channel going, and they even sent me a free shirt which you can see on screen here. And as you can see, I got the new Manchester United home kit, and genuinely the kit really is top quality. I highly recommend their product. So make sure to get in a link in the description down below, and now if you use code JerseyFifa at checkout, you'll get 10% off your order. You get a great football shirt, and you help support the channel, which I really do appreciate massively. Hey guys, welcome back to the AJ Analysis channel. I hope you're all well, I hope you're all good, all healthy, all of that. Today I am back in my little box here in the corner, as you can see, and also as you can see, and you probably guessed by the title and everything else, today we are looking at PSG, because for the last 2 seasons in particular, they've been a little bit disappointing and a little bit underwhelming. They still won the league, but they're just disappointing us in Europe in particular, and a lot of that came under Mauricio Pochettino. Now, in the summer he has left, and Christophe Galtier has come into the club. Now, Galtier is a manager that not a lot of people will know too much about. However, we really should, because he's a really underrated manager in Europe at the moment, and he's had a lot of success with Lille. So today we're going to look at how he's going to set up with PSG based on what we've seen in pre-season and also in their opening match of the campaign. And we're going to look at the tactics. Now, you will catch me glancing away at times, but that's because I've got some notes of the shape here. Because as we'll see almost straight away, the system's actually really interesting, so I want to make sure that I don't miss out anything. So the first thing that we can see is that it's very much a 3 at the back here, and then a 4 in midfield, then a 1 and a 2. And I think this has been done to try and get the best out of this front 3. And I have to be honest, this is the shape that I was crying out for from PSG last summer. So if it doesn't work, it doesn't look too great on me. However, I'm really excited to see the shape and how it works. So we're going to start at the back, and typically when a team uses a back 3, we almost see it become a back 4 with the keeper when they try to play out from the back. However, PSG are doing something very different to that. We've got the 2 wider centre-backs in Ramos and Kimpembe are both dropping into the box with Donnarumma. But then Marquinhos is almost moving forward into midfield a little bit, with Verratti dropping deeper, and then the 2 wing-backs also drop deeper as well. And it almost creates a bit of like a 2-4 shape at the back here, which like I said is really interesting, because teams with a back 3 don't typically do that. But it works because Marquinhos has experience playing at the heart of the midfield in a defensive position. So he kind of effortlessly fits in here. Now, the reason it works is because a lot of teams in France will use a 4-3-3. So we'll be pressing with a front 3 shape, and the midfielders will eventually come up as well. But what this allows PSG to do is in these areas, they just have the extra numbers over the opposition. So even if the other team squeeze high up the pitch, apologies if you can hear my dog making noise in the background, I can't stop him, he does what he wants. But let's say the team are squeezing PSG nice and high up the pitch, PSG just kind of always have the extra player here. So here it's a 3v2, if this player comes across here then the keeper's an option and they can go the other way. So I'm actually really looking forward to see how this shape kind of like develops and unfolds, and because of this shape I do think PSG will have a lot of success at playing their way out from the back. Now, as a result of the shape and the pure technical quality of these players on the ball, PSG will often be able to play their way through the press and get to the middle third and dominate possession, from where we can see in this system that it will naturally turn into a bit of a 3-2 shape in possession. You've got the back 3 centre-backs here all comfortable on the ball, and then Vitinha and Verratti in midfield are most likely to be the double pivot at the moment. Now, Paredes could come in, although there's a chance that by the time this video is uploaded he's left the club. But also Renato Sanchez is a really interesting signing that could come in and play either of these 2 positions. And he just offers them some depth even if he isn't going to start. But either way, this is going to be the shape that I think they use to dominate. And it will be this 3-2. Now, what I've personally seen in pre-season is that if teams are using a 4-3-3, there aren't a ton of passing options in the middle here, because Vitinha, Verratti and Messi are all closely followed. So it does leave the centre-backs to progress the ball, and early on what I've seen is that they aren't being extremely adventurous with their passing. At times they're often playing the ball a little bit safe out to the wing-back, so it might be Kimpembe to Mendes or Ramos to Hakimi. So it's a little bit safe, but with the opposition defending in quite a narrow shape, it's a bit of an easy out ball and allows the team to play forward. Now, some teams will try to counter this. Of course, if the pass from Ramos to Hakimi is a little bit slow, the opposition fullback is going to really put pressure on his back. However, that could be a fatal error, and I think at times we are going to see PSG trying to bait teams into this, because if you do this and you press slowly, then Hakimi has a quick ball around the corner, and then someone like Neymar is getting on the ball. Or on the other side, if Mendes is pressed and can get the pass off, Mbappe is then wide here. And then that leaves these players isolating centre-backs in wider areas in 1 versus 1 situations. Now, this is something that we've seen in pre-season working quite nicely, and that has the potential to be deadly, not just in the league, but also in the Champions League. There's some good centre-backs in the world, but none of them want to be isolated out wide against Mbappe or Neymar for that matter. So this could be a really deadly combination. Now, the other option, obviously, there is that the fullbacks don't press as high and sit back in this shape. Now, I think eventually that is what teams will develop and learn to do, and now just let PSG have the ball and trying to prevent this space in behind. But what this will do is mean that PSG will quite comfortably control possession, and now use this 3-2 shape in the middle here, and it will allow them to really dictate. Now, from here, this is where things get dangerous, because there's this little magician in the middle of the pitch that goes by the name of Lionel Messi. I'm sure you've heard of him. Now, what he will often do is, despite starting kind of in this attacking midfielder position here, he will regularly be looking to drop in and get the ball. Messi loves having the ball at his feet because he's so good at it. He's so good with the football. Why not go get it as much as possible? So at times it will become a bit of a 3-3 shape in the middle here because Messi will be looking to get on the ball. Now what this does is then frees up someone like Vitinha or Verratti, or perhaps it's Renato Sanchez from the bench. It then frees up one of those midfielders to get a bit further forward. And I think Vitinha in particular is a player that will look to do that, whether that's through dribbling or through receiving the pass from someone like Messi. Now, this kind of leaves us with a bit of an interesting shape, because it kind of leaves Verratti as slightly deeper, and then Messi and Vitinha kind of just off him a little bit. However, out wide I think it's a bit simpler. If the opposition are not going to press their fullbacks extremely high, then PSG are. PSG will push their wingbacks incredibly high up the pitch and really pin the opposition back and stop them from pressing. And now we can see that PSG are going to begin to start taking control of the game. So this back three, again, they're comfortable on the ball. And then you've got Verratti, Messi and Vitinha all in this middle third, all in this middle sector of the pitch, given the freedom to take their time on the ball and nick some passes together. Now, at times teams will try to outnumber them or just even go man for man for them, but these three players are so good on the ball that doesn't matter. They are still better than most players that they're going to come up against. So even if you go touch tight, these players are so technically gifted that they will just pop the ball around the corner and you can press them, but that might be at a cost because pressing these lot could be dangerous. Now, with the wing-backs pinning players back here and the midfield dominating in the middle, that then brings us to our two strikers, Neymar and Mbappe. Now, both players are players that like to get on the ball, but Neymar in particular is someone that likes to drop deep and show off his dribbling a little bit and his passing. Now, with the wing-backs pushing the full-backs back, this is where it causes a problem for the opposition. Because typically we might see Neymar go short and get the ball, a centre-back might step out, but then maybe the full-back will come around and cover him a little bit to prevent this space. However, with the wing-back pinning him in this way, if Neymar comes deep and the centre-back chooses to follow, then we have this massive space in behind that Kylian Mbappe is now able to exploit. And Mbappe needs half a yard. If you give him this amount of space, it's going to be absolutely deadly. Now, the other option is you sit off, you don't go touch tight, but now you're allowing Neymar to get the ball, and now suddenly PSG have 1, 2, 3, 4 players against your midfield 3, and we can start to see now that PSG are going to create overloads with one of these strikers dropping in, whilst the other operates in behind. Now, most of the time it will be this way around, with Neymar deeper and Mbappe in behind, but it can work both ways, and I think it's really, really promising. Something else that we can see in this shape is at times the two forwards will stay further forward, perhaps Messi will get on the ball, but again, it's very, very dangerous to go man-to-man with these PSG players because they're so good. Again, we've got the wing-backs pinning the opposition back. And now Neymar and Mbappe are both, again, they're 1 versus 1 with their centre-back. And with someone like Messi on the ball, perhaps curling a pass in here, or Vitinha playing the pass in here, Mbappe is going to be able to get in the channels, and so is Neymar. And that's the benefit of having two strikers that have spent a lot of their career so far playing on the wing. So they are more than happy to get in these channels. And I think these areas here, this gap here, and this gap here, they're becoming the most dangerous and most important positions in football. At times in the past, over the past decade, we've seen this area here, what we like to call zone 14, becoming more and more important. But I think these gaps here, where you can get to the beat your man, get to the byline and then cut the ball back, that's becoming such a big thing in football, and I think it really is the next evolution of the game. And PSG are going to be absolutely deadly when it comes to doing that this season. Now, on the ball, I think we can see they're going to be deadly. The question is, what can they do off the ball? Because there's a lot of criticism. Let's go back to the standard shape. There's a lot of criticism of this front three. Neymar, Mbappe and Messi, of are they going to press? Well, what we've seen in pre-season is that when they lose the ball, let's say Mbappe loses the ball on the dribble here, they will counter-press. Mbappe will get round, Messi will get round, Neymar will, Vitinha, the wing-back, whoever it is, in pre-season the positive signs have been that these players will get round the ball. Now, will that happen over the course of the season? We'll have to see, because I think we can question the temperament of these players at times a little bit. At times they seem a little bit entitled, these forwards. But from the early signs are positive that they are going to try and get around the ball and win the ball back. In terms of when the opposition have more stable possession, I think we will see a bit more of a mid-block. I don't think we're going to see these players pressing crazy high. It's not really something that Lille done. Instead, under Galtier, they want to play a bit more of a mid-block and then break on the counter-attack. And I think that might be what we see a little bit more. And perhaps that's why Renato Sanchez has been brought in, because of his ability to break up the play in the middle of the pitch here. But I think what we'll see as the season develops, unfortunately I can't really talk about it now because we just haven't seen it yet. But I think what we'll see as the season develops is that PSG are going to set little traps in this middle area of the pitch here, right? Now, Mbappe, Neymar, Messi, they're not going to have to do a ton of tracking. In this mid-block, they're just going to kind of shield, shuttle across, shadow press a little bit to cut the passing lanes. And then these players in here are going to win the ball back, so the pass goes loose in here, and then suddenly Mbappe, Messi, and Neymar will come to life. And they could tear teams apart on the counter-attack if teams are brave enough to come play football against them. And that, combined with just their pure quality on the ball already, if these players buy into what Galtier is going to teach them, then I think it could be really promising. Like I said, I like this shape. We're kind of at a point now where we need to see it more against some better opposition before we really judge it. But right now, the early signs are quite positive. And if I was a PSG fan, I would like the business, I would like the new manager coming in, and I would like the setup. So right now, I think is a positive time for PSG. Probably they go on to win the league this season. The true judge and the test will come in the Champions League. But let's see how they do. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's anything else you've noticed in pre-season or in their league games so far. They might have played another game by the time this is uploaded. But either way, let me know what you think, what you've been seeing, who you're looking forward to seeing, and maybe even who you think should be dropped from the team. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.